Hello, beautiful, amazing, fantastic world, and you, beautiful, beautiful individual. Today, I would like to speak about a fun topic, at least for me. It is maneuvering in the astral world. That also includes, well, perceiving, or at least in concepts, perceiving the lower and the higher deva, the astral realm and the lower astral realm, and so on. The astral realm often is reflected in our nervous system and our lymphic system, and it brings about movement. With the astral body we share with the animals, that brings them movement, impulses, instincts, and so on. When we are human beings and we are maneuvering and trying to purify our own astral body, we are trying to think higher thoughts and maneuvering in the lower and the higher deva. When we are trying to maneuver there, it requires us to have a certain reverence, gratitude, and love. Because they are, well, the lower and the higher deva are one of the highest realms there is. And to be able to even, well, interact with these beings, it requires us to have a high level of objective love for everything. And by immersing ourselves in these feelings, in these types of devotional thoughts, like in ancient Indian times, they have many types of different praise songs and worship songs to the gods they have. And to read them translated into English, although they are not perfectly translated, still you can get a glimpse and a feeling of that high level of devotion that they truly had at the time, and still have in that sense, truly. That is, the lower deva is our, well, aesthetic beauty. That means everything we see around us is beautiful and has its place in this cosmos and in this development in a certain way, objectively speaking. Of course, there are such things as ugliness and ugly actions and, well, nasty plots and so on. It is a reality, and that is of the lower astral world. The lower beings, those that are of a more, if we are to be mildly, mischievous and scoundrelous nature. And the normal astral realm is Lucifer's realm. In the physical world, this materialistic world is Ahriman's realm. That is where they truly rule in their own sense of the word. They are the two different beings I've been speaking about that we are keeping in a certain balance. The truth of the matter is, by having infinite compassion for these two beings, Lucifer will break his own wings, and Ahriman will shackle himself and keep scheming there in the background. That is just how they work. Lucifer, he wants to fly above everything and feel like he is worth more than anyone else, and the arrogance, but by have infinite compassion and seeing him for what he truly is, he will bring his own downfall. That is how it works. It is his own inner will, in a sense. The Christ stands for Philadelphia, brotherly and sisterly love, outside of our blood ties, where we truly can get to understand one another. So, when we maneuver in the astral realm, that is more of the individual. So, that is more where personality, our own individual inner nature comes in. When we grab a hold of thoughts, we drag it from the airy, from the astral, and down to the etheric, down to the fluidic, into our body, so that we think the thought with our being. We drag the thoughts and make it so that it becomes perceivable. And the etheric body is what is indicating when we see our outer physical form. From our country, what kind of inheritance and what kind of background we have. The physical form, how we have built this body, our life body. So the etheric body is what we are sharing with our whole country, our people. And the astral is what we have individually. The ego is also what we do have individually, but that is truly the personal, intimate, the ego, the I am. That is what is the most personal and the only thing you can say to yourself. But everyone can say that to themselves. We all share that. But that is why we can understand one another. At least try and attempt to do so. The more we think higher thoughts, the more we perceive the world as a constant development and evolution, and everything has its place and challenges to overcome through our own power of activity and effort, our inner development and strengthening of our soul and spirit. Our soul is the feeling, soul and passive part of ourselves. The spirit is the active part which is partaking in the activity of, well, thinking. Your spirit grabs a hold of your thinking, spiritual thinking, your ego. That is also what goes from lifetime to lifetime. The activity, the movement, the putting into action and putting out to the world yourself and your inner being. For good or for ill, that is what we are aspiring to purify and to ennoble. We are nowhere near close, we are about halfway there. But we can aspire and not be afraid despite us having many flaws, many scars, many things that limits us in this lifetime. But we do the best we can individually. Be brave in the moment about it. We all can share it. We all have a space to fill and we all have something to share to the world individually. We all are uniquely colored, born uniquely, have a unique appearance to us, and well, that is what we should explore and to be grateful for it so we can unite in differences, in freedom, in oneness, in manyness, in oneness, and all of us work towards building that world temple. It takes time and it takes lifetimes. It takes generations and well, now we are not to care too much about generations when it comes to reincarnation. Don't get me wrong, we care about generations here. But not when it comes to reincarnation. You will shed your etheric body and it will go back to the world etheric, and we will build ourselves a new etheric body in our next life, which means we are not going to be born in the same race or in the same family even. We are going to be in a completely new country with completely different environment, because we are exploring and going deeper into, well, earth development, to try to spiritualize different cultures. Every culture has its role and its different achieving, different goals to achieve is what and we are all incarnating in different countries unless we are overly attached to the country we are in this lifetime. That is when we often are in a danger of being born as again in the same country and not changing too much, you see. That is why we go to different countries, to unfold and deepen our soul and spirit, to, well, expand and become more and more a full human being, knowing what a true human being is, no matter from where, gender, religion, culture. You see, it is about that objective understanding and meeting a person in the middle actively and consciously. Once you are, that is when you truly are starting to maneuver in the astral, because the astral is actively here around us, affecting us, giving us impulses, giving us inspiration, giving us well, creative ideas and so on. And it's all about listening and being able to utilize your own personality and body to master yourself, to be able to, well, being able to communicate and to express yourself truly, honestly, lovingly, caring, and also at the same time have certain strengths that allow you to defend yourself should the opportunity have, should the moment require so, is what I meant to say. Passive resistance to evil. That is just, well, standard practice, kind of. So it is all about seeing the beauty in good actions, in uplifting, moral, loving, warm actions, and seeing ugliness in oppressive, bullying, degrading. You see, that is ugly, and that is the aesthetic beauty of things. Of course, we go above that and see it as just what they are, good and ugly actions. We do not judge it as, you get my drift, that is God's work, that is God's job in a sense. But still working on what we do, and not, as I said in earlier video, not attack those that constantly break down the bricks we build on the world temple. Because if we focus on constantly defending the temple we are trying to build, we will never build a temple. We are wasting time. So I rather use new materials and build it stronger so it can't be broken down. So that no matter the weather, it will stand. That is what we are, well, attempting to do, what we are aspiring towards. That kind of inner anchored strength. To truly have the resolve to do so in love. And with the aesthetic beauty, you can observe objectively. With moral beauty, which is the higher deva, one of the highest of the high truly, is where you feel pain when you see an ugly action. And you feel joy and upliftment when you see a beautiful action. You see, they belong together too, but they are two different areas of the astral, more or less. And the astral is the more neutral, the more animalistic area of the astral world, normal astral. And the lower astral is the more demonic, where you go below the animalistic and come to a more, you know what I mean here. You go down the train of debauchery and degradation. So I think I will leave you with this. This was fun. Thank you for listening to me and watching me. May you keep on going and fighting and standing for your own inner power. And may you love the world and see the beauty and be grateful for what you have been given. Every little small thing counts. Being grateful for these things opens your whole being up to the higher worlds. It's important to have that love and gratitude. Gratitude is love. When you are grateful, you don't have any space to feel any negative emotions. Truly. Of course, you can feel negative emotions and then you can pretend you are being grateful. That is fully possible. But it is about being grateful after you have overcome the hard and difficult moments. After you have overcome it, that is when you are grateful. Look at the strength you have been receiving from overcoming that moment. Overcoming those things, reflecting upon them, understanding them, and then knowing that, yeah, I understand this now and I am not afraid of it anymore, and it doesn't give me extreme heart bumps and so on. It truly is, yeah, I can see it calmly now. That is what we do by observing what is difficult and going through it with dignity and reverence and devotion. You can still be grateful even though we feel pain. It is hard, I know, easier said than done, but the practice of it is the training is what matters. It takes time, step by step, moment by moment, and so on. I love you, my Father, Holy Spirit, Christ, our ancestors, ancient masters of old, the hierarchy, all bless you, protect you, guide you, and love you on your unique, wonderful, beautiful path. And may you be blessed. Thank you so much. Love you, you wonderful, wonderful individual. Bye bye.